Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're setting the scene at a sun-drenched Lumen Field out in Seattle for a massive 2026 FIFA World Cup Group G opener. Now, this was supposed to be a relatively straightforward affair for the European heavyweights, but instead, well, Belgium and Egypt gave us an absolute tactical stalemate that kept all 66,000 fans right on the edge of their seats. But before we break down the tactical setups and the underlying data, I want you to think about this. How do you rescue a World Cup campaign in literally just 22 seconds? Keep that in the back of your mind, because the sheer drama of how this match swung is something we absolutely have to unpack. Okay, let's dive right into this. Part 1. Egypt strikes first. A tactical surprise in Seattle. Going into this match, the big question on everyone's mind was how the Pharaohs would handle that intense Belgian pressure. And the answer started with this number, 34. Now, this wasn't just Mohamed Salah's 34th birthday, which he actually celebrated out there on the pitch, by the way. It also represented a brilliant tactical shift by Egypt's manager, Hossam Hassan. Instead of his traditional high and wide role on the right wing, Salah was deployed centrally in a totally unfamiliar number 10 role. By bringing him inside, Egypt kept his attacking threat, allowed him to really orchestrate the offense without making those exhausting high-intensity flank runs, and man, it paid off beautifully. Right in the 19th minute, playing from that central pocket, Salah slipped a perfect pass over to Imam Ashur. Ashur takes a touch and just hammers home a beautiful, powerful strike from distance right past the book Courtois. No chance. Just like that, Egypt had a completely deserved first-half lead, and Salah actually became the first African player since 1966 to register a World Cup goal involvement on his birthday. How cool is that? Let's move to our next section. Section 2, Lukaku's instant impact. Flipping the script. Down a goal, Belgium was honestly genuinely struggling to find any sort of urgency. They were static, losing way too many balls, and this sequence really tells the story. After Ashur's early goal, Kevin De Bruyne tried his best to spark the team to life. He even curled a brilliant free kick onto the wrong side of the post in the 53rd minute. But they just couldn't break through Egypt's stubborn backline. So manager Rudi Garcia is forced to make a change in the 66th minute. Romelu Lukaku, returning from a hamstring injury, is subbed on. And in that exact same minute, we get an equalizer. So remember that question I asked you at the very beginning? Well, here's your answer, 22. That is the exact number of seconds, literally 22 seconds, it took for Romelu Lukaku to make an impact. Almost immediately after stepping onto the pitch to a standing ovation, he charges right through the middle to meet a Thomas Meunier cross. Under immense pressure from the charging striker, Egyptian defender Mohamed Hani inadvertently diverts the ball into his own net. 22 seconds to save a World Cup campaign. Just unbelievable. And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Belgium captain Yuri Tillemans summed it up perfectly post-match. He said, he's a target man. He helps us in this way. And the absolutely crucial point here is that Belgium's attack was entirely static before Lukaku arrived. They were controlling the final third entries, sure, but they had zero focal point. The sheer physical presence of Lukaku instantly disrupted Egypt's defensive shape and completely fixed Belgium's structural flaw, like flipping a switch. All right, let's shift gears. Section 3, by the numbers, eye test versus data. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the underlying metrics match the chaos we actually saw on the pitch. The numbers reveal some incredible symmetry here. Shots are practically even, at 15-14. Shots on target, exactly tied at 3 apiece. Big chances, 2-2. Saves, 3-2. This wasn't a case of some European giant dominating an underdog who just got lucky. No way. The data proves this 1-1 draw was a perfectly balanced, edge-of-your-seat tug-of-war from start to finish. The expected goals, or XG, backs this up beautifully too. Belgium sits at 1.32, and Egypt is right behind them at 1.07. It's definitive proof of the incredibly tight margins in Seattle. Neither team truly dominated the goalmouth opportunities. It was really just a fiercely competitive scrap in the penalty areas where literally every single inch mattered. But as you'll see, how they actually generated those chances was fundamentally different. Belgium played a game of controlled buildup, 54% possession, a massive 81 final third entries, and great long ball accuracy at 60%. Egypt, on the other hand, played the absolute perfect disruptor role. They didn't even need the ball. With 46% possession, they focused on pragmatic defensive disruption, making 27 tackles with a high success rate, and then they punished Belgium in transition and on set pieces, earning 7 corners to Belgium's 2. So who won the individual battle out there? Well, that has to go to Imam Ashur, the undeniable man of the match. He earned a massive 7.8 SOFA score rating, and he wasn't just a goal scorer. I mean, yes, he scored from a really tough .21 XG chance, but consider the rest of his work. 19 passes completed, 7 duels won, and get this, he carried the ball over 144 meters. That is huge. He was absolutely vital in breaking Belgium's pressure and driving his team up the pitch. Just an incredibly well-rounded display for sure.
Moving on to our final section, Section 4, Group G wide open, a deadlocked group.
So we've looked at the micro level of this tactical battle, but the macro consequences for the tournament, they are massive. Because Iran and New Zealand played out a wild 2-2 draw over in Inglewood, we have a perfectly symmetrical group. It's crazy. All 4 teams sit dead center, tied at a single point each. Belgium and Egypt both have 1 goal scored and 1 goal allowed. So the slate is effectively wiped totally clean for match day 2. So with all 4 teams perfectly tied, who is going to survive the Group G deadlock? Belgium definitely has to find their attacking rhythm against Iran, while Egypt is hoping their transition magic is going to work against New Zealand. Right now, it's really anyone's guess. I hope this explainer helped you see the brilliant tactics beneath the surface of this 1-1 draw. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and we'll see you for the next breakdown.